Now we'll see some 10 mark problems in 5th chapter, differential calculus application 1. Then we'll see 6 mark problems. Here first model like derivative as a rate measure. Rate measure means in terms of time t. So you already know some of the formulas you studied in your earlier classes. What is the velocity? What is velocity? The rate of change of displacement. Suppose displacement is expressed like 2s t square plus 2t plus 5. If you want to find velocity, you should find dx by dt. That means what? D by dt means the rate. So the rate of change of displacement is nothing but the velocity v. So if you differentiate the displacement with respect to time, you are going to get the velocity. Similarly, what is acceleration? The rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. You might have studied all these things in +1 physics. The velocity is nothing but the rate of change of displacement. Acceleration is nothing but the rate of change of velocity. That means if you differentiate one more time the velocity, you are going to get acceleration A. So if you differentiate displacement with respect to time, you are going to get the velocity. If you differentiate velocity with respect to time, you are going to get the acceleration. And one more thing you should notice, when a body is projected vertically upwards like this, again it will fall down at the highest point of its projection. At the highest point, the velocity is 0. Because if you project any body vertically upwards like this, then it will go up to the maximum point like this. It will stay some time, then again it will fall down. So at this point, the velocity is 0. Our final velocity is 0. And one more thing, if you want to find the initial velocity, then you have to find velocity and you have to substitute t is equal to 0. Initial means what? At a time of projection. So always t is a 0. So at time of projection, initial velocity, t is equal to 0, you have to substitute. And when the maximum height, the velocity is always 0. These are the points you should remember. Okay, and the displacement at any time is given by the formula s is equal to ut plus half at square. You already studied in physics. Same formula they will give in the form of another equation. Like displacement x in this problem I will explain, 100t minus 25 by t square. So displacement x is a function of time. That's why it is a derivative of the quantity x with respect to the time. Derivative or differentiation. So this is also explication of differentiation only. So listen carefully, we will see one by one problem. First 10 mark problem. A missile fired from the ground level raises x meters vertically upward. That means what? One missile is there, from the ground level it is raising up to this point, again it is falling down. So this is the highest point. So this is the point of projection, like firing. So that is the equation they given. It varies with the time. That means what? 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, x value changes. That means what? The displacement changes. So this displacement, for example, this is the displacement x, this value changes. So now find number 1, the initial velocity of the missile. What I told, initial velocity, velocity of the body at time t is equal to 0. So velocity, listen carefully here, displacement is given as 100t minus 25 by 2 t square. So what is velocity? V is the rate of change of displacement dx by dt. So v is equal to, you should differentiate this one. So what is the value? 100, t is 1. Because we are differentiating with respect to time. So time is a variable. Minus 25 by 2 into t square 2t. Like x square we are writing 2x, no. In the same way for t square you should write 2t. So 2 gets cancel. It becomes what? 100 minus 25t. This is the velocity. So velocity v is equal to the rate of change of displacement like dx by dt, that is 100 into 1, because for t, d by dt of t 1, minus 25 by 2, for t square it is 2t. So what they ask? Initial velocity. So first one, initial velocity means what? V is equal to how much when t is equal to 0. That is the meaning. So initial velocity V is equal to 100 minus 25 into 0. Nothing but 100. So 100 meter per second. So first answer you already got. That means what? Suppose here the gun is there. We are firing the missile. So at the time of firing, what is the velocity? Initial velocity they ask. Or at what velocity you fire the gun? You fire the missile. That's what they are asking. That is the value. You fire the gun at velocity of 100 meter per second. So that is your first value or first one they asked. What is the second one they asked? Listen. The time when the height of the missile is maximum. That means second one at the maximum height. I already told you the velocity is 0. At the maximum height velocity is 0. So V is equal to 0. So velocity V is equal to 0. Then what they ask, what is the height? X is equal to how much? So now we don't know t value. First you have to find t value. For that in this equation you substitute V as 0. What is V value? 100 minus 25t is equal to 0. So 100 is equal to 25t. T is equal to 100 by 25, 4 seconds. So what is x? X is equal to, you have to substitute here only. That's what they ask. The time when the height of missile is maximum. That's what. Time already we found 4 seconds. That means what? This missile will go like this. At this is the highest point. For example, this is B point. This is A point. So to reach the missile from the ground level to this point, it takes 4 seconds. That is the meaning. The time when the highest height of the missile is maximum. So maximum is how long it can go upward, like this, up to this point. Again it will fall down. So up to this, how much time does it take? 4 seconds. That is the second one. Third one, the maximum height reached. The maximum height reached means what? That is the displacement x quantity. So when t is equal to 4 seconds, what is x value they are asking? When t is equal to 4 seconds, what is x value? Because x is a displacement. So x is equal to 100 into 4 minus 25 by 2 into the 4 the whole square. Now 400 minus 25 by 2 into 16. 8 times it will go. So 400 minus here 200. So it becomes what? 200 meter. That means the maximum height the missile reaches is 200 meters. At this point to the ground level the distance is 200 meters. So that also you got. So three values you already found. What is the first value? Initial velocity of the missile. That means at this starting point A, at what velocity the missile is fired from the gun. So that is the value you got 100 meter per second. What is the second one? At the maximum height. How long it takes to reach the maximum height? That means the missile reaches at this point, how many seconds they are asking. So for that, at the maximum height, velocity V is 0. So what is x value? So equator 0, that sorry, not x value, t value, time they are asking. T value you are going to get in the velocity. Third one is what? The maximum height reached. What is the maximum height reached? Height means what? The displacement. So the displacement they already given the formula with respect to time, 100t minus 25 by 2t square. So here t value substituted as 4 because the highest point it takes 4 seconds. So you substitute x value you are going to get. Next fourth one also very important. The velocity with which the missiles strikes the ground. That means what? When the missile strikes the ground, x is equal to 0. Because you don't know how much time it takes. Missile strikes the ground, x is equal to 0. Because it is going in this path, again it is coming down and down and down, again it is falling on the ground. So here there is no x value, there is no displacement at all because it is falling on the ground. So x0 you should substitute here. So if you substitute 0 is equal to 100t minus 25 by 2 t square. So 25 by 2 t square, if you bring here this side 100t. So cross multiply, like 25 t square is equal to 200t, or you can divide t square is equal to 200t by 25. So square t cancel, t is equal to 8 seconds. So what is the meaning? It takes 8 seconds for the missile to reach the ground again. Obviously, there is a logic. What is the logic? If the time taken for the missile to go to highest point is 4 seconds, same time it is going to take again to come and fall down on the earth. That means on the ground. So, as a logic also, you got the same answer, 8 seconds. This is 4, this is 4. So, 4 plus 4, 8. So, now once you got 8 seconds, they asked what? What is the velocity at that point? So, when t is equal to 8, what is v? So, v value they are asking. So, velocity means what? Velocity again same thing, 100 minus 25t. So, there only you have to substitute. So, we will substitute here. See here, velocity v is equal to 100 minus 25t, 25 into t, 8. So, 100 minus 200, nothing but minus 100 meter per second. That means what? The velocity is going to come down when the missile reaches the ground. So, velocity is minus 100 meter per second. So, this is a fourth one. So, listen one more time. These problems and all only understanding. If you understand clearly, it is very easy. First x value they are given, displacement of the missile or distance traveled by the missile. The velocity they ask, the initial velocity. Velocity is nothing but the rate of displacement. Then simple differentiation. It's not at all bigger differentiation. 100 into 1 minus 25 by t, 2t. So, v is equal to 100 minus 25t. Initial velocity, v is equal to how much? When t is equal to 0. We substitute, first answer we are going to get. Second, the time when the height of the missile is maximum. At the maximum height, the velocity is 0. Final velocity is 0. So, what is t? You substitute t value, you will get in v. You substitute v as 0. Corresponding time you will get. Third one, when t is equal to 4 seconds, how much distance does it travel? That means during the travel, like 4 seconds it will take, how much distance it will cover or how much displacement it will cover. Then x value they are given, you substitute t value here. Next, when the missile reaches the ground, how much time it takes? 8 seconds. So, you substitute t as 8 in velocity. That is the velocity with which the missile strikes the ground. Okay, that's it. Next problem we will see. There is another